down here at the bottom right-hand corner of Ohana, we have our pink Zerg player who's won 4 games in a row for Team compLexity. It's Sasquatch, and his opponent here in the upper left-hand corner, the final member of FXO EU, trying to bring things back for them. It is Elbagast, our purple Protoss.
All right, well, do you think he's going to go for the Immortal Sentry all-in, Kevin? You mentioned the Soul Train, and it's also Ohana, and it's a PvZ. Well, so all the requirements have been met.
If we think about the maps that are left here, I'm trying to think. I know we've got Atlanta Spaceship. We haven't seen that one. And then the
we removed Kadaria, right?
Yeah, Kadaria's not on here anymore.
We saw Cloud Kingdom.
Abyssal City we opened with. Metropolis was the second map. So a lot of the usual suspects are gone. So I'm trying to think what's left. But in any case, Elbagast certainly wasn't going to pick Atlanta Spaceship. That's more my point. He's not
that's
gonna,
a Z map.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to pick Atlanta Spaceship. He's not going to pick something big like that. So Ohana, even though normally when you see this PvZ, you immediately think Immortal Sentry all in, it may not be Elbagast's plan. It's just that he doesn't really want to play on any of the other maps.
Yep. It's definitely entirely possible, but I still think Sasquatch is going to be looking for the possibility of that build, but hey, here we are with a gateway opening, so that kind of messes up your timings if you want to hit a conventional, 10-minute move out, but pull first out of Sasquatch. Less than ideal against a one-base toss. It's, much better to, of course, have a hatch first, going back to real old-school meta right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like before FFE.
Well, we're looking at a gateway first, so we have to start talking about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Elbagast has a lot of possibilities from this, though. It could just be a one-gate sentry expand, and then, move into something afterwards. He could actually very quickly drop down a forge at the front still, then go for a Nexus afterwards and do something a little bit less conventional. Looks like we are obviously going to see the Cybernetics core and begin warp gate research before any of that happens, though.
It's a good but not great map for 3-gate timing, which is not what we're going to see, because I haven't seen that in
years.
I don't know. Yeah, since who was it actually? The last I remember the last one I saw it was from Gosu. Oh, it's Gosu, Huang Xin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Not surprised.
I just remember that. But Elbagast, the pylon already going down on the low ground, so as we would expect, he's going to be taking Nexus here in just a moment. So.
All right, well, we'll see what both these players are up to here in just a moment. Zealot's going to be out running around. Looks like the Overlord hasn't seen anything, but didn't see a Nexus first. So Sasquatch, what is he going to be preparing for? He preemptively pulls a couple of drones just to make sure that, if anything happens, he can chase away a couple of probes that are inside of his base, something like that. That is going to hurt his economy just ever so slightly.
All right, so Sasquatch has got things set up that he can see, when and if a Nexus does go down, which should be any moment, really.
He's obviously worried about taking a third base, though. Otherwise, he would have done it by now. Well,
there's no second, so...
No, of course. So it's not like there's a reason to. I'm just saying he's very conscious of the fact that, nothing's out here yet. I think, did he just barely see the Nexus? He did. Okay, so now he knows when it pops down.
And that Overlord does get taken out, so that's pretty nice for Elbagast. Managed to pick up a small victory there. Sasquatch continuing to just make a bunch of queens. Not too worried about making lings and trying to pressure this or anything. Now there is a Zealot Stalker headed out across the map. And this is actually kind of like, this is a situation where you'd just love to have a billion slowlings and go kill your opponent. Because you would.
Yeah.
But here, he's going to have to make something to deal with this pressure.
Yeah, he doesn't have any units out. This queen is actually going to get picked off very quickly by this Stalker Zealot combo.
Oh, that's... Yeah, okay. He made that third queen. I think it just finished on the high ground, and so he's got 2 queens on the low ground to deal with this.
Yeah, but that's still going to be very tough. 2 Stalkers can deal a lot of damage, and the Stalkers not made it far enough in to see any sort of gas timings. 10 links are coming up behind this now, as it looks like Sasquatch doesn't want to let them leave, at least for now. The Stalker's still trying to go after this queen. It's actually getting very low. A little bit of miscontrol there from Sasquatch, and he does lose one of the queens at least.
Probably the first miscontrol we've seen thus far from him.
Yeah, he's played a pretty flawless game apart from that.
It has been pretty good, but now, this is going to be a little bit of a test, man. Elbagast got away with this 1-gate expand. It really, really accelerates any builds you're going to go for. And, well, any aggressive builds, I should say.
Yeah, or any tech whatsoever. I mean, because you get that gateway down so much earlier.
Oh, yeah, okay. He did finish it. Warp gate's done. He's got 2 gateways. No forward pylons, however, so doesn't look like we're going to have any pressure.
And I would not. We were talking about the possibility of mutas against Protoss before, and something that I said I'd love to see, and sometimes it can be frustrating to watch. This is a possibility of it happening on this map. Really easy to keep your opponent pinned in here because of the way, you know, the bases are so far apart from each other. There's so much walk distance through the middle that it's you've got to keep them pinned back in. You've got to be able to turn around and react to mutas. So I would not be surprised if that's what we see.
I mean, it's a roach or
infestor,
some sort of drop play or an infestor. Yeah, it's really just drops muta or super fast bird infestor. That's really what we've got here from Sasquatch. Now, he does have 2 Evo chambers, but that's still way too much for 4 gases. So
base infestor.
Here is our infestation pit. And we'll see what he has to do with this, man. He started carapace and going for melee. Okay.
Yeah, once he dropped down the double evolution chambers, I was like, well, we're probably not going to see the 2-base spire, but double upgrades on the way now. His Zergling speed's going to finish up momentarily. He has pretty good control of the map. And Elbagast following this up with a just a 4-gate play for now and a Warp Prism. So 4-gate Robo with the Warp Prism. And we used to see for a long time the prevailing strategy for so many people was to get in there with a Warp Prism, drop in with sentries, block off this ramp, and try and isolate and kill this base.
Well, we'll see if you can get something like that done, but off to the right, we have 1 Overlord. The Xel'Naga Tower is held. If he takes the Xel'Naga Tower, he could definitely swing in with a Warp Prism and not get noticed here. We'll see if that's what he's going to manage to do. There are 4 sentries, but they're headed to the bottom left here, Kev. This looks like more of a worker harass kind of move. And there are no workers to be harassed.
No, because this base came up really, really late. So, yeah, look at this. We just saw the ping there from Elbagast, so he's going to drop down with these forces. And surprise! Nothing. This base isn't done yet.
Surprise! I threw a party! Where are all my friends?
Yeah, he's still going to get in here and try and do some damage. And there's not many lings out. In fact, a lot of resources just put into a ton of drones and infestors. So Elbagast could actually kill this base.
Yeah. Honestly, though, if there's any build where you're going to lose your 3rd base, I mean, T-base infestor is the build to do it on. Now, he does want to cancel it. Oh, man, that's the 2nd time. Actually, there was a micro mistake. He let that 1 hatchery die. And loses another one here.
All right, so that's already made this worth it because the valuable units are actually going back home. There's nothing that can catch these in the middle of the map. The Zealots will be killed, and that's going to be a 400 resource lost.
Oh, he distracted them.
The infestors don't really want to use all their fungal growths. Ooh, they got to watch out.
He showed the drones, though. If Sasquatch had stayed back with those drones, Elbagast would have no idea that the hatchery on the right-hand side was taken, which it was.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's revealed, and I would imagine that the next round of play is actually going to be designed to moving over there and trying to take that out.
That queen was just having a fight with this. Oh, man. Infested Terror's going down on these sentries, guys. They move very slow, and so, well, he's going to go for the warp. What's he going for?
Yeah, Warp Prism dies.
Gets the Warp Prism in the sentry at the same time.
Okay, and he's cleaned up this army over here. How many queens has he lost, though? He still has 2 queens, but I think he's lost a total of 2, but he cleans up everything else and retains this base. That was...
really good.
Yeah, that was... So it turned around. He had, lost that base, didn't cancel it, but then turns it around and has a really nice hold afterwards.
So, Kevin, what would you do if you were fighting with somebody in, like, a street alley and they just started pooping while you were fighting with them? If that's what happened with that Zealot Queen. They were duking it out, and they just like creep to her.
And then they duked it out.
They kept fighting.
Anyway, so multiple uses of the word duke. So let's see here. Sasquatch is going to make his way up to the top, but these rocks are taken down, and that may actually be a good thing for Sasquatch, as it gives him an opportunity to try and assault this from the side.
Yeah, he's in a great spot right now, man. He's taken his 4th base. It looked pretty rough, especially when that hatchery was lost and not canceled, but he established the other one very quickly, and as we said, Ling Infestor is a great thing to do that on. He's keeping up with his upgrades, 2-2 on the way. Yeah. Let's say, though, that Elbagast's upgrades are looking very solid as well. Did he just finish 2-2?
Let me see here. Yes, he did. That's almost Creator Prime style versus Terran upgrades.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Zergling's going to poke in here. Let's actually take a look. +1 Carapace is done. Oh, I guess just 2-2 is on the way. Those are the only ones that he's invested in. He's not gone up to Hive Tech quite yet. Looks like he's thinking about an attack off to the right-hand side, but now there's a Colossus in this army, and that makes that proposition quite a bit scarier.
This is a difficult build to punish rapid upgrades with, because, infestors, they're not like the ultimate engage once unit. They're fantastic over time. They pay off in dividends if you can keep them alive. But in terms of just like raw, immediate, like nuke damage. All right, let's compare it to like an RPG, right?
Okay.
Your infestors are your DOT type of champions, your necromancers and warlocks, right?
Damage over time for everyone out there who's wondering. Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, I say warlock, I know that one, but I'm an EQ player, man. So yeah, damage over time from your infestors. And then maybe you go and look at like you know, a unit, maybe Banelings, perfect example of straight up nuke, or your Mutalisk, I guess to a certain extent, but it's tough for Sasquatch to punish these fast upgrades, but he did only go for +3 weapons here, so...
Right, but here's the thing. He's going to finish 2-2 very soon, and let's build on top of that the fact that Sasquatch is on 4 bases now. His Hive's almost finished before the 15-minute mark, and he's going to have a very quick Ultralisk Cavern. So his own force is actually going to be staggeringly large, and he's going to start 3-3 here in just a bit. And look at this. The creep spread is magnificent. We're about 15 minutes in. He's already well into his opponent's side of the map, and it's going to take a very concerted effort to be able to start pushing those back.
That might be what Elbagast is going for, though, Kevin. This is a beautiful timing. Look at all the money that Sasquatch is sitting on right now. He just started 3-3 Adrenal Glands, an Ultralisk Cavern, Centrifugal Hooks, all these things on the way right now for Sasquatch, and a timing attack here out of Elbagast could be very powerful. He just needs to watch out for Fungals and Infested Terrans, and he might be able to get enough damage in to equalize this game.
All right, well, he's starting to clean up that creep, but it is successfully delaying this force for a really long period of time.
That's
Neural
bad.
Parasite being researched all at once. Sasquatch actually just going to run these forces around. It's going to keep Elbagast pinned back once again. So even though these Zerglings may die here in a bit, not the biggest thing. Sasquatch actually built up to 3K, 1K, dumps it into 5 Ultralisks all at the same time.
I mean, he was just at 130 supply to 180 for Elbagast. If Elbagast just pushed, Sasquatch would have very little to deal with it, but how much time has he bought? Elbagast has been dancing around the middle of the map for about 2 minutes now.
And Ultralisks are going to be here in less than 30 seconds, and that makes this a completely different story, especially because even though these creep tumors are rapidly disappearing, it takes a while for the creep to recede, and so it's still going to be there for that initial engagement.
Elbagast may be doing the dance of death right now, and I'm talking about him dying because he danced around for so long. Sasquatch's Ultras are spawning, and Elbagast is pushing. This couldn't be much of a better timing for Sasquatch.
All right, and he's actually queuing up his forces to actually surround these here next to the Xel'Naga Tower. And if he can do that, he just has to get in there with the Infestors and Neural Parasite a couple of units. He loses 2 Infestors right away and forces out some more energy on others. Baneling's actually being expended there, and Elbagast is actually in full retreat, backing away from this army.
His Ultralisks, or excuse the Colossus are completely surrounded right now. The Ultras are going to be able to get rid of those shields.
Yeah, and they do pretty efficiently. So the Colossi are off to the side. They're actually dishing out a ton of damage. The Ultralisk trying to get in there, do whatever they can. Fungal's actually pinning down most of the units. Neural Parasite hitting a couple of the Colossi, using that against them. And Elbagast's army has largely just disappeared.
And that Colossus is going to be an easy kill because it did, of course, stay behind at the command of Sasquatch. And suddenly we have 168 supply of Zerg to sub 100 for FXO's Elbagast. Sasquatch is looking dangerously close right now to an all-kill, Kevin.
Yeah, this final Ultralisk does go down, but another 6 are actually being produced right behind this, and there's still enough Infestors to be able to delay a consequent subsequent push after this for Elbagast. But don't forget, Elbagast is getting very low in his main. Just a handful of resources left there. Pretty darn low inside of his natural, so he's really only got the 1 mining base up and going, whereas Sasquatch, you know, established this pretty late in the game, has a ton of fresh minerals at his disposal.
Going for some Archons now. You know, the splash damage in general is so necessary for these Zerglings, but they're at least going to be a little stronger against the Infestor comp because it's not as dangerous to get your Archons locked in place as it is your Colossi, so...
Yeah, it is dangerous to get your Archon's Neural Parasited, though, and that's something he's going to have to watch out for. Actually, Neural Parasiting the Immortal to begin with, everything blinking on top of these units, but they just get destroyed immediately, and there's nothing left over for Elbagast whatsoever. Sasquatch crushes on through. He kills the last couple of units, forcing his own units to kill themselves, and the last Colossus dies off to the left. The Archons are dying off to the right, and that may very well be GG and an all-kill for Sasquatch.
It's looking like it, Kevin. There it is. GG. Well played. It goes down for Elbagast compLexity Sasquatch, man.
There we go. Sasquatch all-killing FXO EU. What an incredible performance. After FXO had gone up to an early 2-0 lead, Sasquatch has no more of that. I'm coming in now, and you're going to be out of here. congratulations to him.
He just played so well. Like I'm really happy for him. Guys, make sure you if you're not follow this guy on Twitter at compLexity. Well, at COL_Sasquatch. Guy's got like 500 or 600 Twitter followers, and he deserves more than that. That was beautiful play.
Yeah.
That was just. I mean, everything was like. It was really, really perfect.
Congratulations to Sasquatch there. He gets the all-kill. FXO EU goes down 0-1 in their group. compLexity up 1-0 now, so certainly looking a little bit better already than they did last season. We're going to go ahead and run for the entire break, though. We're actually done for a week and a half of broadcasting. Enjoy the end of the world tonight. Enjoy your holidays if it doesn't end in one way or another. But I do hope you have a great couple of weeks before we come back on January 2nd.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in instead of looking at your window for meteor showers. We really appreciate it, guys. So have a great holiday, and from everybody here at IPL, take care.